I'm down to dunk.
And I'm down to dunk.
I'm down to dunk.
This is JDub, and I'm down to dunk.
I'm Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Lindy Waters, and I'm down to dunk.
I'm Mike Muscala, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Jay Will, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Kenneth Williams, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Lou Dort, and I'm down to dunk.
Will you say this is Lou Dort and I'm down to Dort?
This is Lou Dort, and I'm down to Dort.
Cracklin Oat Bran?
Have you had Cracklin Oat Bran?
No,
No. Okay.
but it's healthy.
You're a big oat brand guy?
I'm a big Oat Bran guy.
Okay.
I think I would switch it with Fruity Pebbles.
Okay, eat faster. Don't put as much in the bowl.
You have a gallon of milk I can also take home.
You don't have milk at home?
One cinnamon toast.
Okay.
Crunch.
Yeah. Cereal is great. Yeah.
Welcome to Down to Dunk. I'm your host, Andrew Schlecht. We're part of the Athletic Podcast Network. With me, as always, on Mondays, is my good friend, Michele Berra. Michele, what's up?
Well, I almost missed the pod, but just almost. I forced you to ask for questions, and finally I was able to join. So, yay.
We have 87 responses as of right now, so we should probably get to it. There's some news of the day within this. Let me see if anybody touches on it that we can give them a little credit here. I'm not seeing it so far. So something that happened today is that the Thunder are sending Poku. Whoops, gonna turn that off. Are sending Poku to the G League, and
That's good news.
it's good news. It's a step in the right direction for Poku. He is not going to be playing with the Thunder this week, but he'll spend some time in the G League from what I understand, and hopefully get back on the court with the Thunder. So that's a good thing, step in the right direction. And obviously news that's a little bit bigger is just Shea returning last night, playing ridiculously well for the Thunder last night. He was so dumb, and a lot of focus is on JDub today, which, yes, shiny new toy. He's amazing. But Shea had 38 points on 17 shots last night.
Yeah, that's still insane. I mean,
And 7 boards, 4 assists, 3 steals, and a block.
yeah, the block was amazing. I mean, I watched the game on my iPhone at the airport, so it was not the best view, but I couldn't stop watching. I mean, I almost missed the flight. I just had to get through this. It was, I know it's the Jazz. The Jazz are playing not the greatest brand of defense as of late.
Oh, dude, you want to see what tanking looks like, just go watch these last 2 Jazz games, because not only are they sitting guys where they sat their guards in game 1 and then they sat Markkanen in this game. They let Clarkson play, but it's whatever. I mean, they were tanking. Some of those lineups, I mean, even Rockets fans would be like, what are you doing? That's disgusting. Why are you doing that?
You're not a big Jusen guy?
Johnny Juzang has the coolest name in the NBA.
Yeah.
But that guy is not good.
Yeah.
Giving Chris Dunn 27 minutes in a basketball game.
Hey, I mean, he's
bad.
Man.
He's not
He's bad,
good.
yeah. But he's hitting shots, which
he made
is
some shots last night, fine. But that dude, no.
Yeah. I remember the hype. I mean, I was really into Chris Dunn as a prospect. Very good defender.
Hey man, yeah. Out of Providence, I was definitely into him. I'd probably be into him right now if we were at Providence this year. Just thinking about the kind of player he could be. But not him. No. And so before the game, Mark, so last night I was clearly not working. I was a fan of the game last night. We'll address some of that later. So I wasn't working last night. Took the family to the game, and so I didn't get to hear the post game or the pregame comments until this morning. Actually, I went and took a look at it and actually kind of formulated some thoughts around it. So this is, I mean, if you think the Thunder are tanking, go take a look at what they're doing with Shea. It's like they want to find a way to get him out onto the court in a way that makes sense for him.
Yeah.
And so it's good from the perspective of if you think this Thunder team has a chance to make the play-in, great. Like they're going to try. Certainly they're going to try. And Shea is going to play in as many games as he can. Now, he's not going to play on back-to-backs, which they have one upcoming. Second out of a back-to-backs in Phoenix. So maybe that's one where you're like, you know what? Phoenix is pretty good. So that's kind of okay. And then they have a back-to-back with the Pelicans and San Antonio. Now, if I'm the Thunder, I play them against the Pelicans, and then I set them against San Antonio because San Antonio just stinks, and you can probably beat them without him. So those are two of the back-to-backs. They're actually, it's kind of funny because like Mark announces like, hey, listen, he's probably not playing in back-to-backs. And it's like, well, by the way, after this game, we have two back-to-backs back-to-back. They have back-to-back back-to-back. And then they have two more after that. So they play the Clippers and the Lakers in LA back-to-back. Flip a coin as to when you want to play him there. Who would you rather him play against?
The Clippers. Just to see. I mean, it's I would still bet on the. I mean, if you really want to maximize your winning,
if you want to get in the play-in, you play him against the Lakers.
Yeah, but you know the Lakers are high variance, while the Clippers are not. So I don't know.
What do you mean? Clippers are kind of stunk lately.
Yeah, I mean, but they steadily stunk, or they are steadily okay. Lakers are high variance. You can get like no LeBron Lakers game and have them hitting 40%, 45, 48% of their shots.
Yeah, I mean the Lakers did that the other night.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, sure, if you want to maximize the idea of winning, yes. If you want to risk it a bit, you can get both.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the same as you do with San Antonio. You try to play him against the best team, because I can say the same for San Antonio and the Pelicans. I mean, you if you want to win one for sure, you play your team against San Antonio and you win that one. Mm-hmm. But you can say in your head, hey, if I can get both, if I want to get both, I need to play him against the worst team, the best team, and try to play without him against the worst.
Yeah. Then they have one more back-to-back, which is like the most inconsequential back-to-back in the history of the NBA, where it's in OKC against Charlotte, in OKC against Detroit.
That's nice.
So
that's a nice honestly, back-to-back. He can take 2 games.
I was going to say, sit him against both and just let JDub and Giddy cook.
And you can also, I mean, in those games, and same way on the back-to-back against San Antonio, I mean, there's no need for him to play 38.
Yeah.
Like you can play him on the front back of a back-to-back and just play him 2.5 quarters, and that's it.
Yeah. So those are expectations as far as like him sitting the rest of the season. I would expect him to sit for rest 1, 2, 3, 4 times, maybe up to 5 or 6 times, I would guess, just depending on how he's looking. And also depending on where they are. I mean, if they go out and they lose to Golden State, they lose to Phoenix, lose to the Pelicans, you have to start at some point. You have to be like, okay, when is it not worth it to manage this situation anymore for him?
Yeah.
And, you know, if they're far out and like, let's say the Lakers go on a big winning streak and maybe the Blazers do too, whatever.
Do you believe that?
What I'm saying, I don't believe that at all. I think the Blazers absolutely
just to check. Yeah.
Even like Lillard almost like gave that away in an interview over the weekend where he talked about how he thinks he can score 100 in a game, which is just like, hey, I don't really care about what we're doing. I can go score 100. But there are circumstances. What I'm saying is that I think there are circumstances where it's not worth it to continue to manage an injury. And there are situations that are. I think they are currently in a situation where it's worth it to manage the injury.
Yes.
And he played well enough last night. It's good. They're also going to change the way he plays in the rotation. And this is where, like Shea's rotations are the easiest ones to pick out of everybody on the team, just because everybody else is pretty erratic, while Shea stays pretty much the same, where he plays
Yeah.
all of the first quarter and all of the third quarter. And then he'll come in toward the end of the second. He'll come in, halfway
between
through
the
fourth.
sixth, the 5th-minute mark in the second, and depending on how the game's going,
like
in the fourth.
8 to 5,
Yeah.
typically in the fourth, depending on how things are
Yeah.
going. So like that's going to start to change too. I don't think they're going to play him as long a stretch in the game.
Yeah, they already started against the Jazz. I mean, he went out with 2 minutes to go in the first.
Yeah, it felt unusual.
Yeah.
To see that
Yeah.
happen.
Can we talk about JDub just a second? Just a second.
The questions are going to get us to JDub, I promise you. Like, people are on fire for this guy right now. He's been so good. Lots of fun questions from people, but okay. So this one is from Buble from Michael Bewley. What's it going to take from JDub the rest of the way to overtake Paolo in the Rookie of the Year ranking? So I think that I just don't think you can overcome what Paolo did early on in the season. I just don't think it's going to happen. You're going to definitely get some NBA smart guys in there that'll pick JDub just because of the efficiency stuff. And I put this on Twitter not that long ago, but this is just crazy what he's been able to do. JDub is the only rookie taking 6 or more shots that's shooting 50% or better from the field. No other rookie that's taking 6 or more shots. Like, the bar isn't that high. I thought so. I started looking, and there's just like a handful of guys shooting 10 or more shots, and he's one of them. And I was like, oh, look at that! Like, he's the only guy taking 10 or more shots, shooting 50%. So let's just knock it down and wrong. 8 shots, fine. It's like, okay, all right. How about 7? Nope, still nobody. 6, no. We had to go all the way down to 5, where it's like Jalen Duren, and he's shooting really well from the field.
And then there's
only
Kessler and guys like that.
Kessler, who only dunks too, and it's like, all right,
Yeah.
whatever.
Have you checked the percentage of him as a starter? I glanced through that, and it's insane.
I have not. Do you have it?
Yeah. I have it here. So it's 47 games. This is a huge sample size.
Yeah.
He's 14.2 points per game, 52% from the field, 36.8% from 3, 76.4% from the line, 4.7 rebounds, 3.3 assists, 1.6 steals, and 1.5 turnovers.
Yeah.
This is just batshit crazy. Sorry. It's insane. Like,
in 28 games since January 1st is 15, 5, and almost 4, 2 steals, 50, 39, 77.
Yeah, it's the defense is ramping up every single game. He is more physical every single game. I mean, last night he was bowling guys, like physically challenging guys like Clarkson. Say, okay, I'm bigger and stronger than you, and you have to feel me for the entire night. That is the. I mean, I know that the shot is amazing, and the fact that he took 6 shots to me was just being. It's basically Christmas again. But the defense is such an important part. Like, the fact that you can have Shea and JDub being the core part of your defense, and not the complementary guys. This is exactly what you need with Giddey. I know that we discussed this already. The fact that you can have 4 real defenders on your starting unit plus Giddey.
Yeah.
But if that is real, then wow, that's a game changer right there.
Yeah.
And to answer the question of your, I don't remember the name, but I mean, he would need to average what he's averaging post All-Star, like 21.5 points, 60% from 2, 50% from 3, and just OKC goes on a crazy run. Like, if that happens, and he is with Shea the face of this stretch, maybe you get some Rookie of the Year vote, maybe. But he has to do something like that.
I just wouldn't count on it. I think he's a lock for all rookie first team with the way that he's played.
Yeah, but I mean, there's still 20 games left. if he goes into a crazy run, like crazy means like insane numbers, then maybe.
Here's the thing, though. What's the highest number of shot attempts that he's had all season?
I don't know, probably last night.
So he had 19 against the Lakers earlier this season. And like you look at Paolo, like he's had multiple 20-shot games. He had 26 shots against Charlotte the other night. You know, some of it is opportunity and aggression with him. Like Paolo's been like pretty inefficient lately, especially from deep, where he just like cannot get his 3-ball going essentially since the turn of the new year. But JDub, he's so good for this team because and this is like similar to like Ben Mathurin too. Like Mathurin and Banchero are just like so much more aggressive with their scoring, where JDub is like, let me find the exact shot that fits me. Yeah, within like in the month of November, Mathurin already had a 22-shot game. You know, where it took JDub a while to like rev up to something like that. And Mathurin's like tailed off a little bit recently, but I think if JDub was put in a position where, let's say he's on like the Wizards or on Charlotte or something like that, where it's like, hey man, like we got nothing going on here as far as shot creation goes. Like, just please help us. I think that he would have a shot now. And what we have to keep in mind is like, this is the best thing for the trajectory of the Thunder is that you have this player that's incredibly efficient, that can get his own stuff. He cuts incredibly well. Like he and Giddey play really well off each other. He plays well off of everybody, and he can go get his own. He's unbelievable. He's got crazy long arms. He can finish anything around the basket. There are so many shots in the last few days that I've seen like up close in person that I'm just like, I don't think he's going to make that. And then he does. And you're just like, I just don't know how he's doing this. Like the touch
Have you
around the rim,
seen the
unbelievable.
adjustment he made to finish against Kessler?
Oh my gosh, dude.
That's unbelievable.
Yes.
The fact that he turned a layup into a very close range half hook shot. I don't know what kind of shot is that, but he seemed to react to a defense,
and he makes it.
He makes it. Yes, that's a good.
You can make the
good,
adjustment
good
all you want.
observation.
Players make adjustments all the time.
Yeah,
But to
functional
make
and
it-
successful adjustment.
Dude. I was saying this the other night to Joe. It's just like my brain when I'm watching him play basketball just goes to some wild places. He
Yeah.
goes to some wild places because 6'6", 7'3" wingspan.
Yeah, 6'6",
Shock.
maybe a bit more than that, but yeah,
Yeah, I mean with the hair, 6'7".
hair counts.
Yeah,
Neck
hair
doesn't,
counts.
but
Yeah. Shot creation, off ball, efficient shooter, great teammate. The defense is coming along. The shot is coming along. All of it's
he has a
coming
bad
along.
taste for cereal, though. How do you cope with that?
I'll live with it, man.
Okay.
Sacrifices. We all make sacrifices in life, and I'll make this one for the team.
That's good.
But he's been unbelievable, man. Like he's just been so good, and he's just impactful every single night. And he's really just started to come on in the last 4 games. He's 27, 5-8, 24, 4-7, 20, 6-4, and 32, 5-5. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
wow.
Again, and then we need to get to the questions, but
I know.
the way in which he aggressively plays defense and the way in which he aggressively gets into his shot. I mean, last night we shared on the court. He said, "Okay, now I'm going to cook."
Yeah,
and
he's
he's
starting to figure it out, and he's confident. Like he when he does something where he's using his strength or his body, you can see him flexing on guys, and you can see him just really getting into it. Like he's really coming into his own here in the second half of the season. At @bookout_Jacob says, "What is Jalen Williams' long-term position?" I see him as a permanent fixture in the lineup around the shooting guard small forward spot with Josh, depending on need for thickness or length, which leads me to a Hendricks Walker type prospect for the Dream Thunder ad.
Yeah, I kind of agree that he's a swingman. He can play. I think he can play 3 positions, for real. Like not in. I mean, he needs to learn how to play
3,
against.
you mean?
Sorry?
1, 2, 3. Point guard through.
Yeah, no,
forward,
you're right.
or-
It's 4 positions.
Yeah.
I mean, in a starting unit, I always see Shea as the lead guard.
Yeah.
But I was saying in a starting unit, he can play 3 roles.
Yeah.
He can play center because you will play Chet there, and you can play point guard because Shea's there.
Mhm.
But all the other 3, for me, he is a guy that can play. He
no
needs to learn how to be effective against guys like Markkanen, because against Utah, it was clear that the best defender on Markkanen was Dort and not
Yeah.
him. He's starting to learn how to play physically with guys that are not his size. He will need to learn how to play up a position defensively, something that Kenrich has done so well. When he does, he can play those 3 positions. And I mean, I hear the sentiment of getting a guy that is stronger, and like Jarvis Walker and guys like that. But he will. Oh, okay. We are past 20 minutes, so I can actually talk about Dort. So okay, it's time. I
So
promised
you
that I
just
would not
wanna
talk
limit-
about. Yeah. I promised that I would at least contain myself for 20 minutes. I mean, in total honesty, if you draft a very, very good prospect at the 4 position, chances are that your starting unit is the best starting unit you can have is still with Dort as your 2 guard. And so you need to play JDub and Giddy as 3 and 4. In the future, I don't know, Hendricks or Walker or even one of the Thompson brother can be a better solution, a better long-time solution for the starting unit. But today, I mean, I would much rather, if I have to play for winning basketball, I mean, players that are already on the roster like Wiggs, Kenrich, and Dort are better than any rookie
Mhm.
that is not Wembanyama or Scoot Anderson.
Yeah. Yeah, with Hendricks, I just worry, like, can he put pressure on the rim like they want everybody to? Defensively, there's a lot of tools there. He's like the ideal like size for a 4-man, and like has the agility that you want as a 4-man. I guess I just worry a little bit about just his like skill set overall, but good size for position, long arms, can shoot, but is not a guy that you want putting the ball on the floor. And so I wonder about that aspect of him. And then, you know,
maybe Ooze is going to be the long-term solution at the 4. Who knows?
maybe Jarvis Walker, he's just not my cup of tea overall.
I know. I mean,
We don't have to go into it. And like I've had like lengthy discussions with 405 fan on Twitter about it. And it's like, I don't know, at the end of the day, he's not my guy, but if the Thunder, pick him, great. Like I'm not going to be mad about it. I think he's good.
yeah, it's not whether he's good or bad. It's about
he is a
what
good
we
player.
like about what this player pass you as. I mean, in terms of feelings and I mean, yes, we need to be analytically based. We need to look at numbers, but we also need to look into our projection of guys into what the Thunder are. And if you project him there, and I need to go back and rewatch him for sure, but I don't know, doesn't strike me as a guy that
he just
the
doesn't
front
have
of-
he doesn't have the fluidity for me.
yeah.
Like-
I mean, if you look at Jang, I don't know if you have any questions about him. If so, we can use one to discuss him a little bit.
We did have one about Taylor Hendricks that came from at CZ Steel. Just how thundery is he? I don't think he's that thundery, to be honest.
I meant, do you have any questions on Jang?
I know. I just wanted to hit that real quick. At
okay, sorry.
Brandon A. Ebert. What kind of things do you want to see from Usman to finish out the year to make you feel hopeful about his future with OKC? Feel as though yesterday was a great example of just an all-around solid game that can make him a part of the core for the long haul.
Two things mainly. Keep being aggressive with the shot. I mean, that part of it, I really like. But the moment I liked the most about Jang, it was a switch on Clarkson where he didn't do much, but he was able to keep him in front and be straight up with his arm extended. And I don't remember if it was Clarkson or another guy. But anyway, this guard went to his pull-up jumper and he was way short because he didn't have a view of the basket.
Yeah.
This is what Jang can do. I mean, physically he's not there. You can clearly see that he's not there. He's getting there, but he's not there yet. He's bigger, a little bit thicker than what he was at the beginning of the season, and you can see him being more. I don't know how to say it, but he's using his body better than at the beginning of the season. But these moments where you can see him sliding and keeping a quick guard like Clarkson in front and just playing normal, steady defense, these are stuff that are really, really important. Because if you can put a lot of pounds there and keep part of this agility, then you have a guy that can really play. He's gigantic. I mean, you can clearly see that he's like much taller than Jay Will.
Yeah, definitely. I want to see. I'm not even that concerned about physically how he's going to progress. I honestly just don't think that's going to be that big of an issue. I think the issue is just like, can he become more aggressive? Period. Like the end. Like,
do you need him to be?
Yeah. Yes.
As a complimentary guy?
He just floats around too much, though, man. Like
I know.
I can't. I don't. I just don't see it for him if he just floats around. I just don't see it.
Yes, he needs to play with. But I would.
He plays with like almost. I mean, there were a couple plays last night where I was like, okay, good. Like he at least has like a little bit of force in him.
Yeah.
There's just too many other times though that he just doesn't play with any force whatsoever on either end. Like he's just kind of there, just letting things happen.
Yes.
And no, like you don't make it in this league today and play like that. Guys, you just don't make it. Like
yeah,
even a good role player that just like lets things happen. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. But there were multiple moments for guys like Wiggins, for example, last year. He is very adept. Was very adept of playing a role, but there are moments where you can see him just playing not with level of force. I like force better than aggressiveness. To me, are two different things. I like to use words like purpose and force because it's not just I need to get mine. It's not that OKC needs that necessarily, but it needs for him to play with purpose every single possession. I need to be there. I need to do that. I need to set a screen. I need to put like all my strength into this screen because I need to free up Shea. These are the stuff, not necessarily being aggressive with the need of getting shots up. And if that is your point, I completely agree. But I like to see moments of him, flashes of him playing a role that I think he can produce value for the Thunder in. I mean, there is room at the 4. So
and that person's. I mean, in order to play with this team, you just have to be good. Like you have to play with force and you have to be good and you have to have some kind of aggression, I think is even a fine word in this sentence. Just like you need to have somebody that's not just going to let things happen around them. They're going to be a part of the action. And they have plenty of guys on the team that will do that. I think, frankly, that's part of the reason why Trey Mann is like now in and out of the rotation. I think it's a little bit why Jeremiah Robinson Earl too is like there's a lot of that happening with JRE since he came back.
Yes,
and it's
but also before.
Yeah, and before, and that's why like Kenrich Williams. Okay, let's just if like all of the talent sliders like on 2K were slid in Kenrich doesn't make it in the top like 9, but because he is forceful with the way he plays, like
I
he
think
is.
you're being generous with 9.
Yeah, it could be 12. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
he shouldn't have. Kenrich, if you look at his story from when he was like 18 years old, you would have said there are 300,000 teenagers exactly like him in the United States of America vying for spots on college teams. And he is no different than just like any random kid trying to get into college. He had to battle his way to get to D1. He shouldn't have been here. But because he plays with this force that I'm talking about, he gets to play and he gets to be a fixture in the Thunder rotation. I mean, you look at like Trey Mann as an example of a guy who's not playing with great force.
Yeah.
The reason that Eugene Omarui played at all for the Thunder this year was because he played with just like this tremendous force.
Yeah.
And if guys don't make it, and this is just all about Jang. Like if Jang's not going to make it, it's not because he's not talented enough.
No, he's talented.
The dude has talent out the wazoo. He is doubly talented, like maybe even triple the talent that Kenrich Williams has because of the size, the length, the passing ability,
the elegance of his driving. I mean, he is
handle,
very
like,
fluid with the basketball.
He's got all of it.
Yeah.
And if you gave him the brain of Kenrich Williams, he would be an all-star.
Oh yeah.
Like I firmly believe that. But I don't know that he has half of what Kenrich does when it comes to like this playing with force thing. I don't know that he's got it. Maybe they can unearth that from him because that's the one element missing from his game that if he had that, I would be all in. And you know who has that? JDub has that.
Yeah.
And like that's why I like firmly believe in it. Giddey has it too. And like that's why like I can't not believe in Josh Giddey because he's got it too. And like those two have it, Shea's got it. And it's obviously very important that whenever you have that element of force and the element of just like crazy talent that guys like Shea and JDub and Giddey have, that you're just like, okay, I just believe in it. Like I just believe that they're going to make it happen. That's how people were with Giddey's shot. Like people that are around him a lot, just like, you know what? I think I'll figure it out just because like I just believe in the guy.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Would say stuff like that, and this is why with Jang, I'm just like I don't know. It's going to be up
I
to
agree. It's not a no.
Yeah.
It's I need to see more, and I think that this comes also with playing. I mean, you don't have unlimited playing time to show what you are about. I mean, this is part of the JRE dilemma. I mean, he played a lot, and we're not seeing what we like to see. We want to see him destroying the other guy. And with Jung, I mean, you can be patient because he's very young. You can be patient 2-3 years, but that's it. And he has to show something as early as Summer League or next season. He needs to be better at that.
Yeah.
I think that the player that has 36-37% from 3 will find a role at that size no matter what. But the quality and the level depends on, I mean, in a playoff setting, if he doesn't put force in his play, you will always get a guy like Kenrich first in instead of Jank, even if he's better shooter, better offensive creator and stuff like that.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. Okay. So I'll go ahead and address this 34 minutes into the podcast from our guy, J. Ralph Smith. This is Jay from the Fry Pod. How hard was it to find Rumble? And how was your stress level as the timer got close to 0? Michael, I don't know if you even saw this. Did you see this?
No.
Okay, so I go to the game with my family. I'll lay all this out for you guys. We are sitting in the stands with like 10 minutes before tip. We're just kind of getting settled in, got the kids, their popcorn and everything. They're sitting down, they're munching on it. We're watching players warm up and everything. And a lady from Game Ops comes up to me with a clipboard and she's like, hey. I'm like, hey. She's like, would you want to participate in a game, right after halftime? I said, yeah, what's the game? And she's like, it's Find Rumble. He kind of explains this game where I have to use one of the cameras in the arena to find where Rumble is, situated in the arena. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, she doesn't know that I do a Thunder podcast. She doesn't know that I'm even part of the media. And so I signed this waiver, and it has like all these like different things. Like, you can't be an employee of the Thunder. You can't be associated with blah 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 blah. I don't meet any of those criteria. Telling her like, hey, listen, like I'm part of the media. I'm just off tonight, and I do a Thunder podcast. She's like, no, that's no problem whatsoever. So
Okay.
anyways, I'm like, okay, well, this is gonna be really weird. So I go and I'm like on the Jumbotron and have to find Rumble. From the moment that I was supposed to find Rumble, I felt like my brain turned off, just dead. Like I just had nothing going on upstairs. And I am looking for Rumble. I mean, he could have had flashing red lights on him and it would have been impossible to find him for me because I had no brain activity going on. My kids, my older two kids, my youngest son had already fallen asleep, so he was down with my wife, and then my older two kids walked up there with me, and so they're up there jumping up and down like crazy. I found him at like the very last second.
Okay, so you did find him. Okay, that's nice.
I did find him. It was a miracle. It was an absolute miracle that I actually found this guy. Anyways, won the prize pack. It was very exciting. But yeah, I wasn't working last night. Some people were like, how does a media person get chosen for this thing? And I'm like, well, for one night, I was not part of the media. I was just a fan, just like you, sitting in the stands, taking my kids to the game. My kids got to meet Shea and get his autograph before the game, and they're so pumped up. Like that was part of the reason that we went, is that my boys were really wanting to do that. So it was a great time. We had an absolutely lovely time, and it was hilarious that I got chosen for this Find Rumble thing. So anyways, I didn't cook the books. The lady didn't even know that who I was. She probably even thought I was like that. Me telling her that I do a Thunder podcast, she was like, man, what a loser, like he probably does Thunder podcast, like 10 people listen to it. Cool, man. Yeah, don't worry, you don't need to worry about this at all. It's just really funny.
Well, you'll see if someone tell her something next time you see her.
It's on the Thunder Reddit page already. Like they do a daily Dort, and they just put a picture of me wearing my Dort shirt up on Reddit. So shout outs to the Reddit community. But it's just ridiculous. But yes, Jay, it was so hard to find Rumble, and my stress level as the time got closer. Honestly, my brain was so turned off, I couldn't even comprehend how much time was left. I didn't even know how close it was of me finding him or not.
I need to find that video.
The people around me were freaking out. I'll send it to you. I haven't promoted it or anything just because I feel weird about it, but I'll send it to you. It is a ridiculous thing. The best video that I've got was my wife taking a video of me doing it from the stands and like just videoing my kids' reaction to it as I found Rumble, and that was definitely my favorite part of it because they were both very excited about it. Okay, let's go to some more questions.
We'll never get to 87, right?
I think we've answered like 4 in 40 minutes.
That's a good pace.
Yeah, we'll get through all of them. At Joe_Subusky. Thoughts on Keldon Johnson as a trade target for OKC? Fits the timeline, great contract, provides shooting and versatility. San Antonio would be unlikely to trade him, but what do you think of the fit, and how much would you trade for him? If you think that and how much do you think it would take to get him from San Antonio?
I would, if I were a good team, I would like him.
Yeah,
not for OKC. He's too short. It doesn't solve my problem.
Yeah, no, like what is he measured at?
6'5.5".
Yeah, he's not a 4. I mean, JDub's bigger than him.
Yes, and I would spend a pick on Vassell. I really like him.
Oh,
a pick and a half
2 picks on him.
2 picks, okay.
On Vassell, I mean, the problem is he's not. I mean, Vassell would be great if he was 6'8", but he's also like 6'5", 6'6". Like he's not huge.
He's 6'6", but he is different than Keldon. He's really a shooter. I mean, he can give him 10 shots per game from 3, and he will take them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's 40% on 7 attempts per game.
Yeah.
Keldon had a great season last year and had a great start to this season shooting the basketball.
Yeah.
But he has tailed off quite a bit. He's 31% and he's 36% for his career. Like, you're right. He's not like the knockdown shooter that you want.
No, he's not.
I mean, Vassell is. And Vassell's got long arms. But if I'm San Antonio, like if I'm going to care about anybody on this roster,
it's Vassell.
It's him. And I'm a big Sohan guy, and Sohan's a lot younger than Vassell too. I think he's like 3 years younger. But if I were to care about anybody, it's that kind of guy, and the kind of trade chip too. Because we just saw with Phoenix, like they had a guy a lot like Devin Vassell, and he became kind of the centerpiece along with picks to get Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
So if I'm San Antonio, I'm not just selling this guy off for picks. I'm just that's not something I would be willing to do.
No, you're right. I mean, the only way I can see that is if they get a guy who is not Wemby, is not Scoot, and they are way, way behind the schedule.
Yeah.
And then a guy like us says, okay, like, do I really
need
to get
like Amin Thompson? And they're just like, oh boy, like it's going to take some like big time development for him to figure this out. But honestly, like Vassell would help a guy like Thompson.
Yeah. You're right. It's not a good trade. I mean, you would try to extend him. You can extend him. You can even give him a max if you want. It's not that you have any issues in terms of your salary cap structure, so you can overpay him and then say, okay, when we will be ready, you already got your money, and we'll see you later. So no, I would not target Keldon Johnson today.
Yeah. At BowerWin17, my biggest issue with this squad is rebounding. I know things will be different with Chet, but do you see this as an issue going forward?
They're not a terrible rebounding team in general. They are a bad defensive rebound team. Chet will help quite a lot with that.
He's a really good rebounder.
Yeah, he is a good. I mean, rebounding is also about putting your body onto the opponent best rebounder, which is something that Chet can do. We have pretty good rebounders all over the floor. You just need to protect the paint a little bit better. And something that is also important in the reason why OKC is struggling a bit in rebounding is the type of defense they are playing. I mean, if you have your big man constantly rotating because you don't have a good rim protector, and so you have to switch a lot, then this big man will be out of position, and you can concede a little bit in terms of rebounding. With Chet, I expect the defense to change quite a bit and to have a more drop kind of defense where Chet will be closer to the rim quite a lot.
Yes, and not just the swarming can kind of leave the defensive rebounds up for grabs at times.
Yeah, you have defenders that will be aggressive in fighting through screen, but Chet will not switch. They will stay a little bit behind. So it's still a swarming defense in terms of you have to close and you have to really force screens, but you have the center that is back there.
Yeah. So defensive rebound percentage, they're 29th in the league.
Yeah.
Offensive rebound percentage, do you know where they're at?
Top 10.
Yeah, 11th.
Yeah. You know, I was listening to one of the pods, I don't remember which one, saying that OKC is just below the half in terms of rebounding, but not like bottom 10 or anything.
Yeah, they're 26th in rebound.
Oh, real?
Percentage.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they've got to get better. Something that will also help with them is age and just guys like Giddey and JDub. Not that obviously those guys are already good rebounders, but I think they can even be better. Just like bulking up.
Yeah.
just being older. And a guy like Jang, who can be allergic to rebounds at times, like
Mhm.
if he's going to play, he's got to get bigger. And as he gets bigger, he's going to get better rebounding. Like it's just going to happen. So, but Chet's going to fix a lot of those issues. They're never going to be a great rebounding team, but they're going to be really good at a lot of other things. And so,
Yeah.
you have to pick your poison. Like you're not going to be good at every single thing. And so it's funny just because this is the team that that basically sold out for rebounds in that KD era, where there was like, no, we're going to have Steven Adams and Enes Kanter, and that's how we're going to do this. It's like we're going to get way more rebounds than you. We're going to get more shots on the goal, stuff like that. And the Thunder still
they had Russ though,
and they had Russ, and they had Kevin.
Yeah, but Russ was a generator of potential offensive rebounds opportunity because of the type of shots he was getting.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So you
that's
actually
a really nice way to put it.
No, it's not. It's not. It's really about having like a prolific mid-range shooter allows you to get more offensive rebounds opportunity. Instead, if you have like guys that just hoist threes, those rebounds are unpredictable,
erratic, sometimes way long. Yeah. Let's see. At JGG512, with you and Joe cracking the code that Thunder looks for those who can put pressure on the rim, have playmaking skills, and extend themselves across multiple positions, is it obvious at this point who would be the targets in the lottery? Who is chief among them based upon this skill set? You have thoughts, Michele?
I was thinking that's a good question. I mean, Scoot definitely puts pressure.
Scoot would be one.
The Thompson brothers, I mean, I don't like their chances to be effective getting at the rim immediately.
Yeah.
I mean, I like some of the skills, but it's not that they will beat any defender.
Yeah.
With their ball skills.
Also, I just don't think you can be a near hopeless shooter and play for the Thunder.
Wow. No, I agree.
Like I just don't think and also need the ball in your hands. And that's why like Amin Thompson is really scary to me.
Yeah.
Because like
if you're at number 3 though, I think you get him anyway.
He's the kind of player that I think could set you back a year. Because it just might take some time to figure out how to play with him. And if he's going to be, that kind of resource, if you're picking at 3, is such a tremendously valuable resource that you're spending on a player like that. You have to devote the time to do it.
Yeah.
And so
would you not do it?
I don't know, man. I don't know what I would do. Because the Amin Thompson of today is think Ben Simmons before Ben Simmons sucked. Ben Simmons pre-back injury, pre-Simmons, pre-that Hawks series, where it's...
So the okay version of Simmons?
We had all NBA.
That version, you mean? No,
yeah.
That's why I'm saying that if he's there, you pick him and
that's
you figure out.
It's tough. And maybe I just don't know how amenable he is to playing different positions.
No, he doesn't have to. He's just not a starter with OKC, or you start him and just a token starter. But you can think about lineups with Amin Thompson, Chet, JDub, Joe, and Kenrich.
Yeah,
that is a lineup where you can. It's tricky to play both Giddey and Amin Thompson.
That's what I was going to say. I just don't want to fall into another place where it's like, yeah, the Thunder are really good, but they can't put their 5 best players on the court at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I just don't like that. There were years where the Thunder couldn't put their 5 best players on the court because they were overlapping positions. And it didn't make sense. Like, give me, and this is why, like, having, and it would also, and maybe they end up getting him and it'll all work out just fine. But but to me, it's like I don't love it just because like they have made this like incredibly malleable team.
Yeah.
Where like Shea can play multiple positions, Giddy can, JDub can, Chet's going to be there big, and it's like you can put any piece you want around them, except for maybe a big non-shooting guard.
Yeah.
Like
And you're already tinkering with that, and it's working okay so far.
Yeah,
But
no, it's great. It's great. And Amon maybe will figure it out. I think he's not unwilling to take threes. And this is where like I feel a little bit different about Anthony Black because Anthony Black will take them. And he
Yeah, but you can't get Anthony Black with the third pick if you
not
have
with the third pick, but like if they're at 10, you know,
Yeah.
he puts pressure on the rim. He's 6'7", crazy good defender, crazy long arms.
And it's not crazy good. He's a good defender, not crazy good.
He just has that motor though. What
Yeah,
I was
he
talking
has.
about earlier, like he's got that whatever it is that Kenrich has, whatever you want to call it, that dog in him. People
That
say
dog in him. Okay.
like he's got that, and that's where I'm just like, all right, I'm sold. Let him do it. Let him do it. Like he's the guy. Bring him in. That's why I like him so much. Is that I believe in that kind of player.
Yeah,
And-
another guy that really puts pressure on the rim is Nick Smith Jr. He is really good at doing that.
And I think he's got a chance to shoot it a lot better than these other guys do.
Oh yeah.
And
He's a shooter. I really like him. I don't like any of the top guys for the Thunder though. They need. I would again. If I'm there, I'm just getting the BPA and then figure out later because it's and it's not easy to say who is Nick Smith Jr. better than Grady Dick? Is the other way around?
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows?
We'll circle back on that in a few months.
Yeah,
We
I
have
need to go
still-
watch some more of the Thompson guys.
Yeah, good luck.
I have a disdain for OTE, to be honest. That I just like,
Yeah.
I hate this. And maybe Amon Thompson would figure it out because he is a tremendous passer. I think he has the capabilities to be a really good defender too. And he's
Mhm.
like, he has an athleticism that hasn't been on this roster since Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
And he would add an element to this team that's like, oh my gosh, like the Thunder out on the break are breathtaking because
Yeah.
everyone can pass and they fly up the court, and then Amon Thompson can come out of nowhere and just bring the hammer down, and he just absolutely lights the Paycom on fire because everybody is going berserk because he just jumped over, Bol or whatever. Like that's the kind of stuff that he could bring where you can get yourself really excited about him.
Yeah.
It's like anything half court where Shea's got the ball and he's camped out in the corner or he's on the wing and the defense is completely packing the paint and Shea's trying to get there and he's getting the ball poked away because there's 4 defenders in the paint and Amon Thompson's just standing there. That's where I'm just like, I don't know.
Quick question. Would you rather have Josh Giddey, the number 10 pick in this draft, and all the 4 picks in 2024, or no picks at all, but you have Amen Thompson and Lauri Markkanen?
Give me the first one. Give me all the picks. Give me all the picks and give me Giddey.
Okay.
Yeah. I like Markkanen fine. I think he's a good player. I'm not.
Okay.
I don't love Markkanen. He's a really
No, me
good,
neither.
he's a really good player, but
I just
I don't
chose you to
buy-
pick an all-star
yeah,
plus the number 3 pick in next draft.
a lower level all-star that's like is not guaranteed to be a multi-time all-star.
I agree.
Give me the other stuff. And like I'm the wrong person to ask about like ejecting Josh Giddey from this team. Like he is super good and he's
I know.
super smart.
I
And
know.
I believe in that. I just believe in him to figure it out. And he was amazing last night, dude.
He was.
As a scorer, as a passer. as a rebounder. He was phenomenal last night, and they basically just played like the Jazz G League team or whatever. Who
Yeah.
cares?
I'm not saying that I would do the trade. I just thought like, hey, switch, and if you don't like Markkanen, take Mikal Bridges.
Yeah. Yeah. Still give me Giddy and the picks.
It's too early for that.
I also just trust Sam and his people to figure out which guy 4 through 12 is good. And
and you can the fun part of this is if you get 3, you get him, you get him and Thompson. You have years before the decision is made.
I mean, if you would have told me even last year, like, hey, you can keep the number 2 pick, but you got to trade, the Clippers pick and something else for whatever, and you don't get JDub.
Yeah, it depends on the whatever. But I agree. But I understand what you mean. I mean, in 2024, they have a lot, and they can do a lot.
Yeah, like big mistake, because this dude is gonna be a force in the league.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm just like, I'll trust the Thunder to do the right thing with this pick, whether that be Anthony Black or Grady Dick or Jarris Walker or Amon Thompson, Asar Thompson, whoever it is. Like, I don't know. I've watched all these guys, and I don't know who's going to be the best. I really just don't know. But I do know that the guys that have Thunder skills are probably Anthony Black is like toward the top of the list. Like, he just checks most of the Thunder boxes. And that's where I just, like, if you wonder why I've zeroed in on this guy, it's like, well, he just kind of does all the Thunder things.
And also Rayan Rupert. Don't forget about him.
Rayan Rupert, definitely
getting better.
He's getting better, and he's definitely checks all the Thunder boxes, and he definitely checks is a mystery man in the draft box.
I was talking about your French pronunciation, but also him getting better, yes.
Oh, boy. Let's see what else we got here. Tons of questions. I'm sorry we can't get to all these. At _ Massimo, we answered your question already, talking about who's at the top of Presti's draft board. The honest answer is I don't know, and I will never know. But I can give you my guesses, and I've already kind of given those. Start 1, bench 1, trade 1. Isaiah Joe, Lou Dort, Usman Jang.
Oh, no.
Yep. This is getting personal. This is from at CL42K.
Let's put some context. Is it today?
Today.
Oh, boy. I mean, the best player of the pack is Lou Dort as a starting player.
Shout out Lou Dort.
Joe is still, to me, a 20-minute kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
You may get him on a good night, but he's not my starter yet. And I would trade Jang today because the other two are actually contributing as player. Yep. For the future, I would actually switch quite a bit.
Okay,
my
so
hope.
Let's say for the next 5 years.
My hope is to start Jang.
Mm-hmm.
To ban Joe and to trade Dort.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's tricky. I think that for the Thunder to be exceptional, Lou will not be a starter. Is it fair?
Is it fair? It's on the fence of fair. Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather, if you can choose today? I mean, Jang as a starter makes sense if he's good.
It's a big if. But
I know. This is what I'm not banking on him being good. It's my hope. My hope is to start Jang. Let's put it this way.
Yeah.
Do I trust it to be true? No, I would put it at, I don't know, 25%.
Yeah.
A random number, which is also a quarter.
Quite high. I think I'd take those odds every day if that were. Okay. At Chaz Sample, did the Thunder make a push for the play-in? I think with them playing Shea and managing this injury, like that's exactly what they're doing. Is that they're making a push for the play-in. Whether they get there or not will be very dependent on the way that the teams around them perform. I think the Jazz are
Yeah.
dropping out. Like, book it. They're going to have the 6th best odds in the draft. Book that now. If you can make a wager it. Put it. Just take it to the bank. Like, that's it. For the Lakers and the Blazers, those are the other two teams like in this mix. I was like, can the Thunder get to 10? Like,
The Blazers are so sad.
do the Blazers and the Lakers. Like, the Lakers won a really important one against the Warriors yesterday. Like, that's
Mhm.
a big one. And the Lakers have come up pretty big in some games recently. So, like, can they keep pushing? If they can, they're probably going to get in. And the Lakers might be on the outside looking in. The Thunder need to win this game against the Warriors Tuesday night. If they win that game, I'm feeling a lot better about their playing hopes. If they lose that game and then have to go to Phoenix on the second night of a back-to-back, not feeling great.
Yeah.
So these games mean something. Like, these are games of consequence this season. And we're going to see what this team is made of. So, which is really exciting. Like, that's really fun.
Yeah.
Like, we have
And also not conclusive. Those are game of consequence, but not where you can draw conclusions. This team is not
no,
24.
that's why I
They
said
are-
games of consequence for this season, because it's
No,
still,
no, no. I completely agree. I just
know
want
what
to
I mean?
point out that if they
Yeah,
somehow win just 5 of the next 20 games and they finish at 34 wins, 35 wins, that is still a good outcome for this season. It's not a bad one. It's an outcome that you can live with, and you say, okay, this is actually better than what I thought. Yes, there was a moment where they lost 5 games. Had they win 3 of those 5s, we could probably be in the play-in. We're not we're not there yet. But
Mhm.
you can. I mean, they will add a big chunk of what they want to be next year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if you get this kind of JDub for next season, I mean, this alone
my
means
gosh.
quite a lot.
Oh my gosh.
Which is a big if. Don't. I mean, I made the huge mistake of projecting too much of 3-man last year. Way too much.
Yeah, we got to be careful, especially in that. And the thing with this season that we don't have with last season, at the end of the season, it was just like, boy,
Yeah, it was whatever.
like, you just got to be careful with judging any player within the whatever.
Yeah.
You know, where
So
right
you don't
now,
want to
like,
project Kalaitzakis 3-point rate.
yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. But if like JDub steps up in these next like 4 games and they win 3 out of 4, and JDub's like a huge reason why, like, I think you can put a little bit more stock into that.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, yeah. Okay. Let's get Michele out of here. Let's also get me out of here because I got to go pick up my kids from school. Hope you guys are having an awesome day. And we'll have another podcast for you on Wednesday with Alex Spears. Should be fun. Fun couple games coming up. The Warriors game is particularly big at home. So looking forward to being at that game. As a media member, I will not be finding Rumble on Tuesday night. I can guarantee you that. And hopefully not ever again, because the amount that my brain shut off during that portion was actually really scary. So I hope you guys have a great day, and we will talk to you guys again on Wednesday.